Guys, it's your boy John the Liquidator coming back with another video. Now, we know there has been a lot of drama coming out the city of Cleveland. Well, I'm here to tell you today, Todd Monken did his media run tour, and he didn't look happy in sitting down in his interview with the people he's talking to. Now, we know Mary Kay has been on a tear with trying to dissect who the starting quarterback's going to be. She's been trying to create her own narrative based off her own opinion, and it has not been going well for her. SHILO Sanders quickly, vigorously got in on the action. Now we have Todd Monken look like he's speaking out against Mary Kay. Whatever the situation is, Todd Monken made it clear this morning and today that he's going to have this quarterback situation figured out before the end of camp. So be prepared for Todd Monken to let us know who the real quarterback finna be. Now, we know there has been a lot of people, even Chad Ochocinco, declaring Deshaun Watson to be the starter strictly on the $60 million that they done paid him or something like that. I don't know. Deshaun Watson been getting money sitting on the bench. Either way it go, whether he play or do not play, they got to pay him. So at this point, it don't even matter if he play or not. Like, let's just all be rational here. He's been getting paid sitting on the bench. What difference does it make since he's not hurt for him to sit on the bench and can get paid, continuously get paid? Like, make it make sense for me. So what, he can play. He's going to get paid whether he play or don't play. So what difference does it make? But with all that being said, let's listen to Todd Monken. Now, I have not heard the full cycle of this. I only heard like shorts. So I tracked it down. He did show it to 92 The Fan, to Ken Carmen show, and he don't look happy at all to talk to these guys. And I really don't like playing their clips because I know a lot of you guys don't like it. But hell, if this the only way we can get the news, this the only way we can get the news. So we got to listen to it to see how Todd Monken feel about this Mary Kay thing.
Amazed to think about how sophisticated the system was.
Well, each team does it a little bit differently, but I would say this, that I think not only with the place I was before in Baltimore and also here, what you see is you're trying to eliminate anxiety. That's all you're trying to do. Is you've already in a lot of ways set the board how it would, who you would take if it felt a certain way. Now the only part of that is in the trades that comes in, that changes the landscape. If nobody ever traded, it would be easy to just fall like, all right, I'm picking this. But when the landscape changes, I think, Andrew and his guys did a great job of working through the other scenarios that led to the picks that we ended up with.
And then what is it like having the top guy in the room next to you, Jimmy Haslam?
Oh, it was really cool. I realized I was the head coach. I mean, I'm right next to the owner, and in between the general manager. I guess that's what I do. I'm the head coach. But really at that moment, besides a sounding board, I was just there for the fist bumps and second guy on the phone. That was really what I was there for. And again, that's their job. And I've said it a million times, just like Andrew's going to trust what we do on 4th and 1, we're going to trust the picks that he makes. And now it's up to us to develop the players.
Do you think, Todd Monken joining us in studio, how important is play calling? And the reason I ask it is because in my world, okay, if you win, you will get zero credit. We won't even think about it. If you lose, there will be call after call about what you did on 3rd down. Now, we're just watching on Sundays. He knows I know there's a lot of things that goes into that the general public doesn't know. So on the base of everything, how important is play calling during a game?
Well, my wife always says, why don't you just call the plays at work? It seems so simple. Why would you ever call plays that don't work? Which I would agree with that. It's more fun that way. I think where it really becomes critical, just like I would say even in the draft, is when the landscape changes. Mm-hmm. Just like in the draft, trade proposals, making decisions, when the landscape changes in a game, whether it's situational, 2-minute, 4-minute, are you going to go for it? Are you not? When are you going to run a trick play? When are you going to take chances? I think that's when it comes up. Calling rundown plays, I mean, I'm calling it off the sheet. I mean, there's variances of what you're going to call run, pass. They're all on there. We all think they're pretty good. to me, it comes down to reminding yourself touches, who you want to get the ball to. That can certainly get, you can get clouded, looking at the whole call sheet of who you need to get the ball to. So, I think it's important. I think it's a little bit overblown because if you've got good players and you've done a great job during the week in your preparation, so the players, and you've created a system that lets their talent shine, I think that's really the most critical part of it is during the week and developing a system and getting really good players. So then Sunday is just a byproduct of the work you've put in.
You've been a play caller. You've been an offensive coordinator a long time. And I know you've been a head coach before, okay? But I think I've seen in some cases around the league where guys, they go from offensive coordinator to head coach, and they sometimes get caught maybe not managing the game maybe the way they should. You're in the area where you go from yards and points to like, hey, I got defense and special teams. I got to take care of each other here. How do you plan on balancing that on a Sunday as the head coach now?
No, it's certainly a challenge. There's no way around it. I still find myself every now and then referring to myself like I'm the offensive coordinator. You just do. When I'll say like we, it's like, well, hell, I'm in charge of it all. And ultimately, I'm now in charge of winning. When you're a coordinator, you're in charge of scoring or stopping them. When you're a position coach, you're in charge of developing your position room. That's it. The winning is now solely on the head coach. Mm-hmm. So that is a part of it. I've already been through it for 3 years at Southern Miss. So we're going to find out.
Todd Monken, head coach of the Browns, in studio with us. When somebody new takes over, whether it's a college program or the NFL, they got to make it their identity. They got to build this in their identity. Is there something, and this doesn't have to be a dig at who's been here before, but is there something you came in immediately and said, I want to do it this way, and I'm going to make this my own, whether it's something accountability, whether it's a messaging, whatever it is there something to put the Todd Monken stamp on the Cleveland Browns?
Well, first off, I have a ton of respect for Kevin Stefanski. He is a fantastic football coach. You don't get to be a head coach in the NFL and not be a fantastic football coach. An identity is a little bit strong. I've said it before that I think I've said this a ton of times, but I really believe this. As much as I love winning and I hate losing, I despise crappy football. And I just think that it's just such a bad look for coaching. It just is. You look dumb as a coach when you put bad football on the field. You want it to look like you want it to look like. If we ran power 62 plays in the game, they might be pissed off that we ran power 62 times. But if it looks like that's our identity and we're going to be a physical team and it looks like you want it to look like, you can live with it. But when you go out there and if you're jumping off sides, you have 10 on the field, you got 12 on the field, the quarterback has anxiety at the line of scrimmage, guys are going the wrong way, and that's an indictment on coaching. And that's an indictment on us. So that's the starting point. You want to give yourself a chance. And that's give yourself a chance. More games are lost than they're won. And that's the starting point for us as a team.
Todd Monken joining us in studio right now. So I want to, again, clarify, and I think you've said this before, you do want to have a starting quarterback on your team that you know is on your depth chart, number one, before training camp, correct?
Would love to.
Okay, you would love to. You're not necessarily stuck in cement on that idea then.
Well, I would love to have that. I'm not there yet, so I can't say that. We've been on the field 3 practices, which was awesome. And to get out there with our players. I was talking to Carson yesterday. He said, feels so weird that we got from phase 1 to get on the field, and then now we're back off for 3 weeks. But it's always changing based on what you see. I don't have a history with any of our players. I know where this is heading. But I don't have a history with any of the players. They're all external to me. Just like when I interviewed coaches for the coordinator position, there was no internal candidates. I wasn't here. They're all external to me. So all the players are external other than Tylan Wallace, who was with us. So at the point is, what I've seen after 3 days, okay, that gives us a little bit of a 40,000-foot view of where we're at. but that can change. Heck, once we get back on the field for 4 weeks at the end of this spring, we'll have a better idea then. But there's only so many reps you get. You've got to start to target towards who's going to start opening day. And now that can still change. And that can change even if someone's getting 2/3 of the rep to someone getting 1/3 of the reps. Because you're still going to play preseason games. You're still going to want to see those guys at quarterback and see how they play.
Why is it important for the rest of the team to figure out who that guy is before training camp actually starts?
I think you're talking about our players.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important for them to have an idea of the identity of the team and have a belief in whoever that is. Ultimately, the ball's in that player's hands every down. So, and you're going to come down to 4-minute, 2-minute end of game scenarios. You have close games every week, a belief system that this guy's going to take us to the promised land, which is starting with a winning team, winning the division, right? Winning a Super Bowl, all of those things. I don't think players care. I just think they want to know who's going to give us the best chance to win. Who do we believe in that's going to give us the best chance to win? Because through all the money and all of that, there's nothing like the feeling in the locker room when you win. And I think that's what players still crave, to be a part of winning and to be able to wear your Browns gear with pride. Hey, I'm a Cleveland Brown.
You know, before a big trial, a judge will instruct a jury. You got to be impartial. You got to delete anything you might have heard about this case. Get it out of your mind. Can you possibly do that and be that objective when it comes to two quarterbacks, both very, very famous dudes? Everything that Deshaun Watson has been through and the stuff he's put on tape 6 years ago and the stuff he's put on tape with the Cleveland Browns over the last how many years? And then Shador and everything that comes along with Shador Sanders. Can you possibly be that objective? Well,
I think there's levels of being objective. I mean, I'm not Patrick from SpongeBob. I don't live under a rock. I mean, I sit there and I hear things, I see things. You're part of that. But I've learned over the years in coaching is your job is to let it play itself out. I said that many of times, like, I'm going to let all of the students take the test. You know, I'm not going to walk in the classroom and before they even take a test, I'm going to observe the students and give them a grade based on what? How they look, how they dress, like nationality, male, female. My job is to let it play out. And sometimes players have they have a fresh start is maybe the best way to put it, or a different style or a different system. So it's my job to do that. And to me, it's the only way. Now, you can be so, again, I would just say there's levels of being objective, right? There's levels where like, okay, I believe this player has something more in there, or there's others where I'm just going to be stubborn and say, no, this isn't it. This isn't the direction we're going. And I think that's unfair to every player. I don't care. I know we're talking about quarterbacks, but I'm talking just in general with the players is it's our job to put the best players on the field to give us a chance to win. And how are we going to do that? By being objective.
Well, Ken lectured me earlier today and said the internet isn't real. And so I see when I come in today, Browns international headlines like SHILO Sanders, sexist comment draws backlash, tells Browns reporter to go make a sandwich. How can you make sure to disassociate any of that stuff with a very serious competition that you are having? Because, everybody has a platform now, and everybody's weighing in on every decision. We had it happen with the prior coach. How can you make sure that that stuff doesn't bleed into what you guys are doing?
Well, we were talking about on the ride up here. First off, I think it's awesome. I mean, it's why we get paid so much. I mean, we get paid so much because fans care, and you talk about it. If it wasn't talked about, I sure as hell wouldn't get paid what I get paid. So that's part of what we do. But if that's going to bother me or it's going to bother Shador or Deshaun, they have no chance of being either the head coach here or the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. I mean, for God's sakes, it's the world we live in. I think someone told me years ago that if the president has a 55% approval rating, he's killing it. Well, fine. That comes with the territory of what we do. And ultimately, what we do on the field is what matters most. And I said it, and there's more to it than just saying, but it really is. You want to stop the narrative? Play well. Want to stop a narrative? Win. It's really that simple. Now, there's more that goes into that, because I got scrutinized by just saying, oh, winning. I know there's more to it. I get that. But ultimately, that's what it is. It's any narrative.
But you don't have to talk to anybody about that stuff, making sure that stuff doesn't enter into a psyche, or, hey, I kind of don't want family members saying this type of stuff because, we've got our football team to worry about. Do you have to address the team at all about that kind of stuff?
No. I don't. That's a man making a comment on social media. That's someone reporting something they believe. That's their opinion. Fine. Not my opinion. I didn't say that.
You don't give a damn, man.
Inner workings with the quarterbacks and the players is going to mean more than what is said outside of there. Ultimately, do I believe that our players look at social media? Of course. Do I? Yes. I mean, do most of us? Yes. That's the world we live in. But ultimately, with the players, I think that has changed over the last few years of how do you get your players to deal with things that are being said about them, good or bad. How do you manage that? I think that is a real challenge. But ultimately, like I said, if that's going to be what defines you, then you're going to struggle to be either the head coach, be an offensive coordinator, or be our quarterback.
Todd Monken joining us in studio, head coach